we do have a new move in the final.
Yes, and we did see a set of rooks leave the board. So rooks have been traded, and black planting a knight in the middle there. Just such sensible, logical stuff. Knights are fantastic pieces in the middle of the board. Black's knight now attacks the white rook as well. Where will white's rook run to? There aren't that many safe squares, actually. Levon Aronian went down to 3 seconds when he played that move. The white rook, that is depressing. That's the move that he would not have enjoyed playing.
No,
White's
I mean,
rook
it's,
now,
it's on the same diagonal as the black bishop. So I would be looking at pushing a pawn.
Yeah, logical. But white's rook forced itself back to the corner, blocked off by its own pawn. And if we bring up the analysis board briefly, we can just see this bishop. Black's problem piece is this bishop. This bishop cannot move. So why not push a pawn forward, suddenly unleashing this bishop? He's done it. This bishop, I mentioned it earlier, as soon as it joins the game, black will win. So white tries to block this diagonal, block the bishop off. The white knight also giving check. I expect to see that piece just captured, just remove that piece from the board. Black edging closer to victory. Now he doesn't have to worry about this piece being dominated anymore.
Okay, wow. Now Teimour Radjabov is thinking he's still far up on the clock with his last move, the rook move.
Yes, so we did see the dark squared bishop, black's dark squared bishop, which was just completely just chained up for the whole game. It's finally been traded off. So black has got rid of his problem child, his problem piece, and the black rook activating itself as well. The first time that rook has moved. Radjabov doing the right thing. He's a pawn up. He's using all of his pieces together. All of black's pieces are pretty much centralized now. Radjabov also centralizing the white bishop. Teimour Radjabov, he just needs to find a winning plan. I think it will come down to the fact that black has a 3 versus 1 advantage on that left side. That being said, there are opposite coloured bishops on the board. White has a dark squared bishop, black has a light squared bishop. So if the knights disappear, if the rooks disappear, maybe that's white's best chance of saving the game. That's something that Levon has to hope for.
Yeah, I agree with you, David. He has to find a way. It's kind of, I have to say, it is a little slightly tricky kind of position because there is no kind of clear plan because there is a plan of pushing the far advanced pawn, but Radjabov hasn't prepared for that. He's put his rook against the white pawn in the center. And if he advances the king, then he's going to give Levon a free move, such as a check, a knight check, and that might be a little bit unpleasant. So I think this is why we see Radjabov just make a move, just move the knight, and again ask Levon Aronian, hey, what are you going to play next?
What are you going to do with 15 seconds left on the clock? And I know the computer there, we do see the evaluation bar. It does say +4 for black. That is a huge advantage, but it isn't so easy on the board. Black still needs to come up with a winning plan. Until you find that plan, it's not clear whether you will be able to break through or not. So I disagree with the computer that the advantage is that big, but it is with best play. If both players had 1 hour on the clock, then Radjabov, he would win this game. It's not easy to come up with a plan, though, with 1 minute left. And black's plan, Teimour Radjabov's plan, is to plant a knight in the middle of the board there, deep in the white camp. That's the second time he's done this. He did this 2 games ago as well. He put his knight deep in the enemy, deep in Aronian's position.
And Levon has only 5 seconds. Okay, he just made it with 6 seconds left. So he has, well, also recentered his knight to attack the black bishop. And that is why Radjabov retreated the bishop. He's like, I'm not going to give black any easy moves whatsoever. And, well, Aronian is just making moves.
Yeah, so the white king does step forward, slightly improving the king. But I think it's just time for black to start improving his rook now. The black rook can enter an open line. Okay, there we see it.
You see it there. And again, Aronian playing quickly, trying to recover.
Shaking his head there a little bit, though. He's not happy.
I mean, normally he tries to keep that poker face. I've played him in when he's losing, and he tries to keep that poker face, but he knows now things are going against him. Black's last move, using his black knight and the black bishop to gang up on white's corner pawn there. The white pawn on the left, it is doomed. It's attacked twice, it's only defended once. That pawn is soon going to disappear. Also, black's knight is potentially threatening some forks, some knight jumps. Aronian down to 1 second.
Oh, yes.
And shaking his head again. He is not happy, Levon Aronian. It is now Teimour Radjabov in the move.
And
he's leaned back.
Yeah, and it's a sad sight to see that Levon, he's got nothing better to do than trade a set of rooks when actually, we've mentioned it before, you don't want to trade when you're down on pawns necessarily. And yeah, I think Radjabov, he'll welcome that rook trade. He'll just go after white's pawn at the corner there.
Yeah, you can see him doing it there. He has played a check. The king has retreated. And I think I'm going to see like knight takes bishop. And then I think Radjabov will just get greedy. 3 pawns on the left. That is seriously good.
Yeah, and the knight does capture the bishop. He's just simplifying his own task. He's just eliminating all risk if he can.
Oh, he's mean. This is mean. So efficient. So instead of grabbing the pawn, which is like, I can take that anytime, he's like, well, you know what? There's some annoying pawns on the right-hand side and the centre. Let's just get rid of those ones first. And
that is a double attack, and chess is all about double attacks. Black's rook eyeing up 2 of white's pawns there. Aronian, he's got nothing else to do other than trying to attack one of the black pawns. But remember, black's already 1 pawn up. All of white's remaining pawns are weak. Another one drops. Black's temporarily 2 pawns up. He will be 2 pawns up in this game. And notice, now all of white's pawns are on light squares, on white squares. So there'll be easy meat, easy pickings for that for the black bishop. Black's bishop will win all those remaining pawns. Levon Aronian, he's just making moves because he doesn't want to resign yet. And okay, nobody's ever won a game by resigning, but he knows that there's nothing left to do in this game.
You can just see it on his body language.
yes.
Levon Aronian is giving up very soon.
Yeah,
probably.
and he has resigned.
There we have it.
So Radjabov has won the first match.
Wow. Okay. Such a tense day. We had 3 draws. And then coming to the final game of the first final match, Teimour Radjabov is the winner of that. And that means he is the winner of day 1 in the finals. And they are keeping calm. We can see it on the webcams now, both players. But what's going on inside the heads now, Jovanka?
Well, I think Levon will be so disappointed. You know, I think he'll check through the lines and just see where he went wrong. But he will be feeling frustrated because he was so close to a draw, and ultimately it was his eagerness to push forward really hard for the win that kind of backfired on him.
And after 3 games with those draws, David, what happened in this final game where sort of the tension was sort of released, and we did for a long time see so much drama on the board?
Yeah, a lot of drama. We saw Levon Aronian pushing, throwing everything at the win there. Actually, he could have even repeated the position at one point, but he played for the win, and we liked his position. We don't blame him for playing for that win, but it was just this one decision that he made that cost him long term. We love white's pawns here. White's pawns, especially on this right side. Look at those 4 pawns. So strong, gaining so much space and backed up nicely. That's an important factor. Backed up nicely by white's pieces. But he maybe pushed the wrong pawn. He put his pawn on a dark square. These 2 pawns now actually block in white's bishop, also on dark squares. And we saw a few moves later that Teimour Radjabov, as black, was able to blockade these pawns. As soon as black got his bishop to this blockading square, suddenly, what is this white bishop doing? It's just blocked in completely by his own pawns. The pawns can never move anymore. Remember, black was also a pawn up at this stage. And once he made this blockade, Teimour Radjabov, he never let go of control. He just traded off the right pieces. He eventually picked off white's weak pawns. And from there, it was all downhill for Aronian.